Hello, welcome back to another seasonal event for Final Fantasy XIV. It is Christmas time and the holidays have started. Today then, you're able to take part in the new Starlight Festival event that takes place in Old Gridania. So if you go to New Gridania and you teleport to the mini Eth right next to Miketo's Amphitheater in Old Gridania, you will find, if you're level 15 and above, even on a free trial, you will find the new quest off of Amgaranji in there that will start this event. And from this quest then, we 3 Kinder Punch, which is level 15 and above, you will get the Ballroom Etiquette Local Libations, which gives you a lot of emotes actually. The Gridanian Sip, Uldan Sip, Leminzen Sip, Gridanian Gulp, Uldan Gulp, and Leminzen Gulp emotes. So 6 emotes in total for doing this quest. I'm not going to show the quest because I'm going to let you enjoy that, and we're going to show the rewards. And after about, 15 minutes or so tops of handing out different drinks to people, you'll get yourself completion and the emote. This will also give you the achievement for this year's seasonal event. And we now have the Starlight stalls open for business. So it's the Spice of Starlight, so 10 achievement points. And we now have access to the stalls if we talk to the stalls guide. And we also have access to the Starlight Celebrant NPC just outside here. The Starlight Celebrant NPC then will sell you the other items. So of course we've got the emote from the quest, but once you've completed the quest, you'll have access to the Starlight Mug Tower, the Starlight Mugs, Uldan, and the Starlight Kinder Punch. So all the tabletop items as well. So we'll look at those as well. And there's also 2 sets of fireworks for Sunshine and Stardust as well. So let's look at the housing items and this emote. Okay, for the housing items then, as you can see, there are 6 housing items in total. We have first the Starlight Kinder Punch, which is a tabletop. These are food-related items, the individual ones. So they are tiny little cups. So if we put that on the desk, line these up, there's a Leminzen one as well. Put that there. And then we'll also put the Uldan one there. I have to note on the special site, they didn't list all 3 of the city-states, but in the actual event, we did get all 3. So maybe that was just a typo originally. And then the other are stacks of mugs. So these are actually things that you cannot deteriorate with just simply drinking them. So that's probably more interesting to me personally. So if we get all 3 of these out, so there we go, and then we need to go really close up to have a look at these because they're tiny. So first of all, we've got obviously the Gridanian stacked mugs, which are completely empty. They've got this nice shiny porcelain texture to them. So if you want a stack of mugs to put in a cupboard or something like that, that would be a nice backdrop. Then we got a Leminzen one, which, by the way, there's lots of really cool characters on each of these. The Leminzen one then has seagulls, dopey little seagull, a ship with a snowman on it. Yeah, it looks pretty nice, doesn't it? And then the Uldan one has bombs and Uldar in the background and these like balloons in the sky. Looks really cool. And then for the individual items, so the things you can actually gain a food buff from drinking, which are incredibly small. We have, of course, kind of like it's like a mulled wine for Gridania, isn't it? An orange-based juice, sort of mulled oranges for Leminza. And yeah, I'm not really sure what the Uldan one is. It kind of looks like a hot chocolate, something like that. But we've got the steam effect coming off, and they're the individual mugs, which are quite cute, actually. I have seen that you can actually get the mugs in real life. I'm not sure if it was an official Square Enix thing. I think it might have been. It might have been a Japanese exclusive, but I believe you can get those in Japan, which I'm pretty jealous about. You can get these actual mugs. They're quite nice, aren't they? And of course, if you were to consume all 10 charges of one of these, the steam would disappear. And just like that, we have completely exhausted that cup of its sweet, sweet mulled wine. And it's just an empty cup, much like the stacked ones. So if you want a stacked one and then individuals perhaps for shelves, or if you want to keep them on a table with the Steam effect, that also is an option. But that is the difference. Those are the housing items. And of course, there is a very good chance that these get added, almost 100% chance they get added to the Final Fantasy XIV online store for real money the following year, so next December. So if you want to get these, definitely go to the vendor and get as many as you physically can if you like them, right? So the emotes then, we have 6 emotes in total, 3 of which are general emotes, and 3 of which are actually special repeated emotes, which is pretty cool. So for the special ones, obviously we have the sip emotes. So obviously sip is shorter than a gulp. These can be used, as you can see here, stood, swimming, underwater, seated, on the back of a chocobo. Yeah, really good options where you would normally be able to use stuff like the green tea and drink tea emotes, basically. So the Leminzen one is basically a little sip of a Leminzen orange, the mulled orange. That sort of expression on your character's face, the happiness, but the which I think is pretty great, honestly. She takes a good couple of sips of this. Yeah, really enjoying that. Really enjoying that. So she takes 2 big sips of each of the mugs then, which is pretty reasonable. I honestly thought the loop would be shorter. The Uldan one then, basically exactly the same emote, just with a different cup. There doesn't seem to be anything different now. We've got the steam coming off there. Not that you can see that with the lighting here of having a nice little drink. And then we've got the Gridanian one as well, with that nice mug. Looks really cool, doesn't it? Really cool. And then, of course, if you want them to last longer than 2 sips, then we go down here and we can get the Gridanian Gulp, which is essentially the same emote. It just loops indefinitely until you turn it off. So if you want to, you know, have a never-ending cup of tea or mulled wine in this case, then that's what you can get. I actually quite like them. I think they're pretty cool. And I also like the fact that they're adding repeated versions as well as singular use versions, simply because there are far too many emotes in the game that I wish looped. You know, there are plenty of emotes on this list. I could go for hours talking about which ones I would like to see looped. So this should be the gold standard going forward, I think, having the ability to loop emotes at the same time. It does pad out the list a little bit, but at the same time I think it's necessary because there are several emotes that, you know, sometimes you pay a lot of money for. It would be cool if you could have them on a loop. Anyway, very happy with the emotes in particular. Whilst the quest was unfortunately a little bit short, in my opinion, it was pretty wholesome, and I do like the Starlight stalls, at least for a G-pose location. Something that I hope that we see in the future is a jumping puzzle added to this or something. The summer event was so much better for that. I think a lot of people will agree. Good hangout space, good G-pose location, and a jumping puzzle. It kind of works. It gives you that kind of trifecta of things to kind of do whilst hanging out, waiting for duties to pop. That's the only thing that's kind of like missing from this zone. There are lots of little fun activities, lots of side things to take pictures behind, NPCs to talk to, NPCs to revisit from previous events. You know, some great pictures here of, you know, snowman not so happy that the sleigh has crashed into a swamp. Reindeers. Yeah, there's some great stuff. And there's a lot of little hidden bits as well that I'll let you discover. Plenty of Easter eggs and lots of pictures that can be taken. Some beautiful backdrops, actually. Absolutely beautiful areas. So yeah, anyway, I personally didn't have a problem with this seasonal event. Again, like we rotate through rewards every year from the different seasonal events. It was eventually going to be an emote again, but this time we got 6 of them. Anyway, let me know what you thought about this event. If you agree with me that needs to be something else padded into these, like a jumping puzzle. I mean, I personally wish that we could have more activities like the Valention's Day event that we had, like where you played matchmaker against another person in a duty, or something like that. But at the end of the day, you know, a good old jumping puzzle, something extra would be really cool. But yeah, it was okay. But anyway, have a fantastic happy holidays, and I'll see you all next time for more patch 7.4 footage.